Hello makers, welcome to Amy Howard Home. My name is Cristie Barron and I am in Northern California in Vacaville at my studio here, Joyful Art Studio, and I can be found on the web, on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, all those good handles. But today I have been invited by Amy to share a little project with you, and I wanted to work with some milk paint and some light and dark wax, and I kind of wanted to show you the difference between the two and how easy they really are to use. So what I'm going to do is I have got some of these. We do a lot of signs in my studio. We don't do a lot of furniture, but we do a lot of signs, a lot of home decor projects, things like that. And so I also want to just encourage you to don't think of these products as just for furniture. You can use them on things as small as vases, as frames, as upcycle pieces. So we do these little frames, and these actually were some duds because they, the grooves we made on them were a little bit too much. But I thought, hey, they're still usable and they have a lot of good texture. So I'm gonna use some of this milk paint, and these sample sizes are perfect for home decor type projects. I have used this numerous times, and you can see how much is still left. And this color is, I believe it's Topiary. I'll check into that for you. And then I also have some light wax and some dark wax. And there's a difference between these two as far as the color and the final effect. And then I've also got some of these great Amy Howard Home chip brushes, a spoon for my milk paint, and then some little cup to mix it up and all that good stuff. So I'm going to turn my camera down because I don't want you to miss anything, and then we will get started. All right, I'm going to set these aside so we can go ahead and mix up our milk paint. So I have got an empty cup here, and I've got a cup of water. And so this milk paint is a natural based paint. And so when you go to mix it up, you don't want to mix up more than you think you might need, because it's not shelf stable. If you mix up too much, you could pop it into the fridge for a week or so, and that should allow you to use it for that time period. But don't mix up the whole thing hoping that in a couple months you could go ahead and use it, because it will go sour by then. So I'm going to put in some water, and it's going to be a runnier texture with milk paint. It is not the consistency of the thicker one-step paints or the Miracle paint that you all are familiar with. It's going to definitely darken when you mix it up, but just know it will dry to this same color as the powder that you started with. And here I go. See this? I am the messiest arts and crafts person. That's okay. All right. So I'm gonna just give this a good mix. And so this wood is raw. There's no sealer on it or anything. So I'm not going to need any sort of binder. If you're using milk paint on a product or a project that has a sheen surface and not a non-absorbent piece, you would need some milk paint binder. But because this one's wood, we do not need to worry about that. I'm going to get out my chip brush, and these have been lightly sanded, not heavily. You can see they were just some upcycled plywood. Sometimes we can't stand to put any wood in the garbage, so we love to come up with things to make projects out of here at our studio. So we do a lot of upcycled wood signs and things like that. And this was some plywood that wasn't being used for some other fun project. And so we cut it into these little shiplap circles, which will be adorable little signs. And since these ones were the first prototype and our shiplap indentations were a little bit too deep, I thought, oh, this will be the perfect little shelf sitting sign. I'm just going to get these sides. And you can see how dark it is, but again, remember that it will dry to this same color, which is quite a bit different. So whatever the powder is of the milk paint that you purchase, that is the color that you're buying. It always darkens significantly when you add that water. So I'm gonna do this. So we're gonna do our coat of paint. I am just gonna do one, and then I'm gonna let it dry, which shouldn't take too long here. Because the wood's soaking it up, and then we have a pretty dry climate here in Northern California. So depending on your climate, of course, that's going to affect how quickly or slowly things dry. Just getting my edges. I probably will do the back later because I do like a finished piece, but for purposes, I just want to show you how easy these products are to work with, and you don't have to be doing a big furniture piece to make use of them. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then we will come back and wax it. How easy was that? Okay, so our, excuse me, wax is dry, and I just have an old t-shirt. It's clean, won't remove any of the dye from it, and I'm just gonna kind of come in here and buff it up, and it's gonna get this nice soft finish to it. You don't need to add any more wax to it. So just feels good. And then we're gonna just assemble a simple sweet sign. I have got some of these wood flowers that we love here, made of sola wood. Lots of different varieties out there, but and just some little wood pieces that I'm gonna stain and embellish this so we're all nice and sealed. And then this one too, so you can kind of see the difference between this one's a little bit more warm, and this was the one with the dark wax, and this is the one with the clear wax, so it stayed in the cooler tones, didn't have that dark wax feel. And you can kind of see the, I don't know if you can tell, see the difference in that sheen. So these pieces I've just buffed, and this one I haven't, so it gets this just nice soft, not quite matte, not satin, just a nice sheen to it. Going in little nice little circles. Doesn't take a lot of work. So there we go. And I think I'm going to use this darker one, the warmer one, for my little sign. And I've got these flowers that I'm going to adhere down here. I just love these flowers for signs and things like that. And then I just have some of these wood cutouts for a little word. And I'm going to stain them really quick with our gel stain from Amy Howard, which is also amazing. I think I'm just going to kind of do that. I think it'll be a sweet little shelf sitting sign. Get my almost gone gel stain out, and you can see I'm just going to use a clean part of this rag, and I'm going to just kind of rub that in there into these little wood pieces. You can, find these little wood signs at all the craft stores. These little wood laser cut pieces, we have them here in our studio too. A wide variety. We use them for all kinds of fun projects, and they work great with Amy's products as well. These stains are so fun and easy to use. They're a gel stain, and they're natural, and they don't have any sort of smell. They actually have I feel like it's a citrusy floral scent to them with the essential oils that they put in there. And you could, of course, if you wanted these to be a little darker, you could add more stain, a couple layers till you got the look that you wanted. This is English walnut, which is probably the one I tend to lean to the most as far as stains go. They're my favorite. It's my favorite color. It's not too warm, doesn't have much of an orange undertone, but it has a good, nice wood color to it. Maybe I'll do this one a little darker. So I'm just gonna put a little bit, another little coat here. You can see how quick this is working for us. Yes. I'm just gonna wipe off any excess. I think I'll do the this little branch a little darker too. And I'll just use some tacky glue to adhere these to my little sign. You could put it on, you could put a piece of twine or rope on there to hang it, or can just put it on a little plate easel. There we go. So I'm going to glue these together and pop it up on my shelf, and I'll show you the finished picture. All right, so we finished our project. So I went ahead and glued those elements on, and I just used good old tacky glue, nothing fancy. And so just to recap a little bit, we didn't prep our surface at all. We just add a little bit of this milk paint. Remember, once you mix that up, you have to use it within a week and store it in the fridge, because it is a natural based paint and it will go sour, which is not good to paint with. And once we did one coat of that, I just ran a little light sandpaper over it to knock off all that texture. And then this one is the one we sealed with one layer of the dark wax, and then buffed it a little bit. And then our little elements, I just stained them with my well-loved English walnut, and then just put some of those solo flowers on there. So I think it turned it out super cute and simple. Just something to sit on your shelf and decorate with. So thanks for joining us today. And if you drop your name and tag a few friends, Amy might give us a nice treat to a winner down below. So have a great day, and thanks again for having me. Bye.